We are live. I don't know why my thing didn't go off, but anyways, DJ, welcome back, my friend. So good to have you back, man. I know I had you on at the very beginning of the Kickstarter. We're getting toward the end, man. Good thing is you hit your number, but with this title and the art and the storyline, it really deserves to surpass this in a big way. So I am hopeful that we could get some more eyes on this because it is pretty damn dope, man. But how are you doing, DJ?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back. I'm glad I didn't scare you off the last time I was on here. And of course, it's good to see your collection because I think you were like traveling when we did the last one. But I get to see like all your awesome figures. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little bit of an issue. I probably have 30 that I haven't even opened yet. I just keep buying them and put them this side. I don't know where to put them, to be honest. So I got to get more shelving maybe. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's good. For me, it's a good problem to have. Don't ask my wife, but for me, definitely a good problem to have.
Oh, I totally understand. Like all my stuff's like behind the camera, like all my books and figures and stuff. I have a whole massive shelf of just straight Batman figures. I have the Lego like Batwing from Batman '89. I have like all the Death Metal and Dark Knight's Metal figures, and then a bunch of like Lego minifigures right here above the computer.
Oh, do you?
So I need to like reorient some things. I mean, we're planning on moving soon, so maybe my next working space, I'll be able to like, show off more of the stuff without taking the camera off the computer and be like, hey, check it out.
I will tell you, moving with a bunch of action figures is such a pain. So we moved to Texas about 2 years ago because I got a job out here. And, I have 700 action figures, and they're all out of the box. So take each individual one, put them in plastic, put them in a bin so they don't all get messed up.
And you got the accessories.
Yeah. So I normally don't put a whole lot of accessories on my figures just because it is such a pain. So they're all in another box in the garage. So all the parts are in there. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. I've slowed down quite a bit, but I'm also a big Conan the Barbarian fan. I'm a big Frank Frazetta fan. And so damn Frazetta girls. And they keep coming out with some amazing characters of Conan and, the whole man. The new John Carter one looks phenomenal. So I'm going to have to pick that up.
Yeah. Freaking love John Carter.
Yeah, it's good so stuff. Good, man. So good.
Ridiculous. I mean, it's a fun but also expensive hobby to have. I also slowed down over the past couple of years. I was getting stuff left and right, especially like McFarlane figures. I was getting a ton of those because they're affordable. But anyway, enough of my addiction problems.
Well, I mean, whenever the pandemic happened, and then obviously the tariff issue, like even McFarlane used to be $19.99. Maybe 21, everything's $24.99 to $29 to $39.99, depending on. I mean, he adds a lot more to it, which is great, but you get a lot more accessories. But again, I'm not doing a whole I don't take pictures of my figures out in the backyard or anything. Other people do that. It looks awesome. I ain't got time for that, man. I work quite a few hours at work, so yeah, it is what it is, bro. I still love them, man. I got my wife. I don't want to hope she don't hear me, but she gets trained. So she goes to Walmart or Target. She FaceTimes me to let me know what they have. She knows what to look for now. Like it's a mess right now.
You got the inside track.
I do, but it's an issue. I certainly need to figure it out on my own end because it's an expensive hobby, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. My wife kind of calls me out on it sometimes, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I could be addicted to other worse things for sure.
Exactly. I love what's the sound on TikTok where it's like all of this, just remember, all of this could be drugs.
Yeah, I could be a crackhead, man, and I'm not, right? So although she might think I'm a kind of a crackhead with some of the things I spend money on. So I don't know. Yeah, what do you do, bro? What do you do, man?
Nothing you do about it.
Yeah. I've started this madness, and it's really hard to kind of go back on the madness. So anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you mentioned the Kickstarter campaign, like meeting its goal.
Yes.
Super. I mean, obviously, I could not be more over the moon about it. Like for those out there, this is the first like Kickstarter that I solely was responsible for. I had another one that I did the art for that was funded last month. But for those who are watching and who have contributed, first off, thank you so very much for making this book happen. I mean, and I have had this story for years. I mean, I talked to you about last time how long I've been working on this character.
Yeah.
And when I saw that it reached the goal, it was the first time really hit me like this is officially happening. Like this is gonna be printed. I'm gonna have it in my hands. I'm gonna be able to read it, and I'm gonna be able to sell to people at conventions and stuff. And it'll be a thing that exists You know, that's a really surreal feeling when something you create in the comic sphere exists.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
It's different, right? It hits differently, man.
Yeah.
But you're obviously a very talented artist, and the story sounds amazing. Taking place in 2065. There's all kinds of cool things that are going on. But I thought maybe what we could do is just let's pull it up, man, and just take a look at it together. I think I have it somewhere right here. Here it is. So I'm gonna pull it up so people could take a look at it. But the art is pretty damn phenomenal.
I appreciate that.
We might need to talk after this for a cover for me, bro.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah. So here we go, man. You hit the goal, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer one more time, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Have at it. Hi, I'm DJ Wiedrich, writer and artist behind the new sci-fi comic miniseries Glitch, which follows the story of an android named Ty who, through his own artificial lens, is trying to understand what it means to be human. If you're into stories like Ex Machina, Bicentennial Man, Chappie, iRobot, or if you just simply need a new sci-fi comic to read, be sure to back the Kickstarter and help us make this new comic miniseries a reality by funding Glitch issue number 1. Oh, I love that effect.
Yeah. I love it too, bro. That's awesome, man.
My good buddy Aaron Bailey edited that together for me, which is really incredible. And honestly, we could just end the podcast right there. It said everything in that video.
It really did. But let's show some of the art, man, because you do have some some pages in there that we could take a look at and some covers. So I thought we kind of jump into it, but it does sound like a phenomenal storyline. I'm a big sci-fi guy. I'm a big Green Lantern. So I did obviously have to back that because of that. But yeah, it looks pretty phenomenal, bro. I thought we'd get into some of the character development and maybe walk us through like the thought process. I mean, you're in a unique position. Usually when I have people on, they're working with an artist and there's a lot of back and forth on character design. I mean, walk us through where this kind of came to. Like, how did you come up with this character and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I love that you pulled up the character sheet here because for a long time when I was designing this character, it looked a lot less anatomical, looked a lot less human. It had like a faceplate with like speakers on the front with just eyes, even had like a lens for like a projector on its forehead type of thing. Very unnatural looking. But as you know, I've studied and worked to become a better and better artist over the years, I realized that drawing that sort of unnatural look would be very tedious and not fun when drawing the book. And that's the last thing you want to have happen is not have fun while you're drawing your own book, right? And so I reworked the design to make it to where, you know, his mechanical parts and everything fit more along the lines of like the musculature of a human. You know, you got the pecs, the abs, you got the different shoulder muscles and everything like that, to where all my training with drawing anatomy and superheroes easily translates into drawing this robotic character, and it still accomplishes that artificial look to it. And you know, the name was also a thing that changed for a while. For a while, the character was just called Glitch, which of course is just the name of the story, but now it's more so just, you know, an overarching theme of the book and something that he's called, but it's not actually his name. And when you're coming with like robotic characters, you know, you have like letters and numbers and stuff, like a, you know, sort of a code name. And I was actually telling someone else about this on a podcast last week that they asked about the numbers in his name. He's TY3754. And they're like, how'd you come up with the numbers? It's just a random like thing. No, I think to know about me is I'm a big football guy. And so when it comes to numbers, I very much associate that with football. So like any address I had growing up, I'd find football players whose numbers match the numbers in my address to help me memorize it more.
Oh, wow.
And I did a similar thing with this where number 37, that was my uncle's number in football in high school. And 54 was my grandpa's number when he played in college.
That's awesome.
So it just kind of worked out like that. But yeah, it's having it to where it's more human-like, gives it a chance to be more expressive, and also just makes it more fun to draw.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, we'll definitely get into world building, Will, because I agree with you, man. That's the fun part of this. And I like to kind of dig in and figure out, because you chose 2065. I would love to like this number. Is there something behind that, or did you randomly just pick a number out there in the future? Was there any like research you did as far as where technology is going to be to kind of make it up? Like, where did that come from? At least the year.
Well, when I was thinking about it, you look at movies back in like the 80s, for instance, and they make movies like Back to the Future. They make a movie about the year 2015, which is the year I graduated high school, which is just insane to think about now. But it's like they thought we were going to advance so far in technology, and in a way we have, just not in the way that people in the 80s imagined that we would. And so when I was thinking about how far ahead in the future would it be to where an android is a normal thing in society, right? Because obviously we have artificial intelligence right now, and it's kind of becoming normalized, but there's still a lot of social contention about it, as far as the arts is concerned, about how it's going to affect information as far as news, politics, economics, and everything like that. And so I thought to myself, okay, so putting it super near future, like in 2035, I'd imagine, since we're such a mature species, that we're still going to be arguing about it at that point. So maybe another decade or so. And finally, around the year 2065, like, okay, at that point, I think people would be kind of more okay with the idea of artificial intelligence and androids. And that seems like a lot more realistic year. Yeah. And the thing for me is that I also didn't want to make, I guess this might sound mean, but I didn't want to make the same mistake as a lot of those movies did, where it's like over exaggerating how far technology goes. I kind of wanted to make it where it's still very familiar.
Yeah.
Because I mean, knock on wood, I'll still be alive in the year 2065, right? And so I don't imagine that the world's going to change that drastically to where it's unrecognizable, like super tall bridges and flying cars and everything, like still recognizable to a point, but where certain points of technology have improved and have gotten to the point where, it's realistic, I guess, or believable, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. You're going to help us with this. Am I missing something on this one, Will?
I don't know either.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'm just hearing the THX noise before movies,
And then me and Will are old farts. So 2015, geez, man, my kids were already almost out of high school. At least a couple of them were, man. So yeah, you're a young buck, man. It's awesome though.
It's always funny too, because like no matter how old I get. In the comic world, I'm always the youngin' of the group. I've always been the youngin' of the group. And that even goes back to like high school days, because I was always friends with like the older kids. I tended to more like relate to them.
Yeah.
Just because I always felt like people around my age, this might sound narcissistic, but I always felt people around my age were immature. Yeah. And so again, I'm always hanging out with the older group, and every time I tell them my age, like even at conventions, they're like, "You're born in 1997? Jeez, you're young." And like, I thought, what? You're a kid. It's like, okay, well, all right, I guess this is never going to change. I'll have to get to the point where I'm 60 years old before I'm not considered a kid anymore, basically, at this point.
Yeah. You also look pretty young too, which you're going to love in like another 10 years when you're looking 25, 30 when you're in your 40s. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. This helps.
George Lucas movie. Is that one of the droids from Star Wars?
Ooh, that might be. That sounds familiar. He owns a THX sound tech.
Yeah, sound tech. Yeah, I think you're right. I think now it's all coming back to me from some documentary I read about George Lucas or watched. Yeah. But here is the cover. This is cover A right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the variant, right? I mean the Virgin.
So this is the main cover. Of course, it doesn't have like the dressing of like the issue number and everything like that, but yeah, this is the one that I did traditional pencils for, digital inks, and Dan Kemp colored, and this is what people get when you cover A.
That's awesome,
dude. It's been so cool. Like we've been brainstorming different things during the campaign of like how to get more things out there, and the fact that he's gonna be doing the cover work or the inner colors, like the interiors, is just, I still have a hard time processing that, because again, we talked before how I'm a big Spawn guy, and some of my favorite Spawn art features colors from Dan Kemp.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I'm like, I could tell people, hey, I'm working with this guy. I was hanging out with some friends the other day who were asking me about my Kickstarter campaign. Mm-hmm. And this one guy comes up and he just thinks we're just talking regular comics. He's like, oh yeah, one of the comics my brother loved as a kid was Spawn. And I was like, funny you should say that. Did you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious, man. I mean, Dan Kemp is a legend, man. For sure. And he's been doing
he's hilarious.
Is he?
He is so funny.
I need to reach out. We gotta get him on the podcast too, man. When I get this reading it, we should have you and Dan come on, and we could kind of talk about the story and then give him the love and the shine that he deserves, man. Because you know how it is, man. The pencilers get a lot of the love, and then colorists and letters, it's a little bit harder, man. And it shouldn't be that way because, man, colors tell a story as much as anything else. So I had a chance at C2E2 2 years ago to meet Tom Ornwanski. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but he has the Guinness World Record for lettering one title because he's been lettering Spawn since the very beginning. And he's amazing. One of the kindest, most gentle guys, but I had to get a comic signed by him and I got to talk to him for a while. He's supposed to come on the podcast, but he's getting a little bit older and he does a lot of work. I mean, he's lettering like, I think 3 or 4 different titles within the Spawn universe, but he's a legend, man. And then you got Dan Kemp, who's been doing colors for a long time. And, his colors have touched some of the artists that get all this love. And you're like, dude, this guy has done a lot of work. So much love out to him because he deserves it, man.
And colorists in general. I mean, like you said, pencilers and inkers, there's a lot of people that want to be pencilers and inkers because in the comic community, they tend to be big celebrities, right?
Yeah.
And that's the names you tend to know. But like you said, the names that get overlooked are people like Brad Anderson, Dan Kemp. Who's the one who's coloring Battle Beast? Starts with an L. I forget.
It is. I thought maybe I had a Battle Beast right here.
Analessi.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But like these people who make things pop and they bring a whole new dimension to it. And it's just, they're very much under appreciated in a lot of ways. And so that's why every time I, message back and forth with Dan, I'll usually try to end the conversation by saying, thanks, Dan, you're awesome. Like he needs to know that from me, but it's one thing I like to try to tell him just because it's true. Colorists do amazing work. And I got to shout out another colorist who colored cover B, Alonzo Espinoza, goes by Pixel Tool. He does a lot of great work too. But yeah, colorists, if people out there don't really know much about colorists in the comic industry, please look into them. Please check out what they do and see how they transform comics. It's really incredible.
Agree. It's so true. So true. And, I feel like colorists, like so many artists do their, well, one, it's all digital for a lot of them now, especially younger artists, but they're doing their own colors now. And so I feel like there's less and less opportunity every year for colorists like there was back in the day when everyone was penciling. I went through 3 people before it ever got to a letter, right? And the letter was always the last thing. When I talk to artists, they're like, yeah, I do my own colors, which is great. But, man, I'm just like, will there be another Dan Kemp or a Brad Anderson in the future when everyone's doing things digitally and they're kind of doing their own colors? So, yeah, I think we need to appreciate them a lot, right? Because they play a major, major role in our love for comics for sure.
Yeah, and if people out there can do like their own pencils, inks, and colors, that's really great and incredible. I absolutely applaud that. And if that's your skill set, amazing.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate thing that I've seen a lot is that you'll have situations where, like I said, artists will color their stuff and they do a good job. And in the eyes of the publisher, it's good enough to publish, right? Yeah. Whereas you could have a colorist who's specifically trained in color theory, which is just a whole other beast in and of itself. Yeah. Learning to render is one thing. Color theory is just, honestly, I don't want to touch it with a 30-foot pole. It's so freaking scary to me. Yeah. But again, people who have that knowledge and know how to just make a scene that much more impactful. Like there's some scenes in Glitch issue 2 and 3 that eventually will come out that I just know Dan's colors are going to bring it out and just, I cannot wait.
Yeah. No doubt. Cause is it a 5-issue arc that you're starting with?
It'll be a 3-issue arc.
3-issue. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember.
And we're going to leave it to where like the 3-issue arc is going to like be a full story, but we're going to leave it to where if we have more story to tell, we can, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then we got some interiors here, which is great. This is your work right here with Dan.
Mm-hmm. I love, I don't know what it is. Whenever Dan like colors people, and just the gradients of skin tone, I've tried to replicate it in the past and like it's serviceable, but then I look at what he does, like, okay, I give up.
Yeah. That's why he's the pro, man.
And he added the God rays. Like these are updated pages. We had like the initial colored versions last time. And he added some extra effects in there because he wanted to play around with it. man, he just does such an amazing work job.
He does, man. He does. That's pretty cool, man.
And the glowing eyes too. He added a little extra effect
Yeah.
on that as well. Yep.
I love it, man. So do you just call him Ty for short?
Yeah, the family calls him Ty. And TY, for those out there, is what's called a thank you unit. Very like tongue-in-cheek name given to him by Rivon Tech, the company in the book. Because again, they're sort of assistant androids, live-in butlers, basically, that are androids. So it's not like explicitly stated in the book. That's just sort of like background lore that I like to know. It's like, oh, it's a thank you unit. No, it's fun.
I mean, this reality is here though already with what Elon Musk is doing. I don't know who the company is behind all the Chinese ones, but I mean, they're using military. They're obviously using them in home. I think this is a lot closer to being a normal thing for most people than I think people are ready to understand or admit. I mean, you see some of these like billionaires buying these robots from Musk just to do. I mean, they're loading dishwashers and stuff like that. I mean, we've seen videos of them. So it's crazy, man. I don't know. It just seems weird to me, but it's going to be normal, like having a vacuum or something like that, I think.
And what's funny to me is that when I first started working on the script for this, I mean, I was working on the script back in 2022 or 2021. And around that time, the only piece of AI that really people were aware of was, Will Smith eating spaghetti video, like that was as advanced as AI had gotten. And it's just one of those things where as I've worked on the script and eventually the artwork, the longer I've worked on it, the more prevalent artificial intelligence has become. And it's one of those things where it became more and more relevant as I was making. It was like, okay, well, the window for this is starting to come out to where I need to get it out there. But I think you're right. It's a near future of like getting androids. Oh, not even future. It's just now of getting androids out there. And I think one thing that I really loved about how this story turned out is that it's a world where androids are very much a prevalent thing in society, but it's about breaking into the lower class part of society is what this story focuses on. Because really at the end of the day, like you think about when smartphones first came out, right? Like the first time I ever saw a kid with an iPhone, it was the rich kid at school that had the iPhone. It wasn't, the farm kids or the kids who grew up like in these, old and rickety houses.
It's in Kansas, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it was only the rich kids that had the iPhones. And so I kind of thought to myself, well, that would be kind of a similar thing with androids. We're seeing it right now. Billionaires, buying their own robots. And, for a while, it's going to be seen as a sort of thing where people look at it, it's like, oh, that's a rich person thing. I'll never be able to have that. I'll never be able to afford that. And this story, I feel like kind of helps bridge that gap as to how that transition between it just being a rich person thing to being prevalent to everyone can happen, or at least in some form or fashion.
Yeah. I mean, look at TVs. Our TV went out. We had it for many years, and it was like a 55-inch TV. You're like, that's huge, man. But we got like a 75-inch for like $600. And I was just like, dude, that is crazy. And the difference between like a 55, a 65, and a 75 was, depending on the brand, there was no difference in price. But if you wanted to go to like a Sony, obviously you get up to like the $700, $800. But for that to be growing up, I remember I was a kid, so I'm like 8 or 9 years old, and they had the big screen TVs that just came out, but it had the 3 lights in the front that would shine on the screen, like those things. And my dad had a buddy who was selling them. And again, very few people could afford them because they were thousands of dollars, but it was crazy to see a TV like at 55 inches back then. And like you said, very few people could afford them, but he was a salesperson for them. And of course, he had one in his house because he got one because he's a salesperson, not going to afford it. Yeah. And now today, like every room has at least 55, 60-inch TVs in their room. So it's so cheap and so normal that go to a Costco. You feel like you could walk into one and they're like $1,000. I mean, it's insane where technology's got. So robots, same thing. Like you said, billionaires are going to buy them. Eventually the price will come down when it becomes more of a normalized type item to have. They're mass produced. The cost comes down. I'm a little nervous, man, to see what it looks like.
I'm not really looking forward to that uncanny valley that happens with those androids. That's for sure. And you mentioned like TVs and stuff. Like my dad, he brags about his 75-inch TV. And it's freaking huge. But same thing, like we used to have one of those big TVs that had like the big part
Yeah.
in the back, and like it was a pain in the butt to move. And we thought that was the coolest thing ever. Now it's just this thin. And you know what's interesting is that like with that kind of thing, you know, it was a more natural progression, right? The prices came down and everything. One thing I also wanted to explore with this book is what if a company tried to artificially make that transition rather than let it naturally progress, sort of force the technology onto the lower class before it's really had chance to really understand it and really, you know, get comfortable with it. And I thought that was really fun to play around with, at least psychologically.
For sure, 100%. Here's my buddy Chris. Hey, brother, thank you so much, man. Tech noir is an awesome genre.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Very true. And I think this book kind of goes into sort of the noir, you know, realm a little bit, because we get a lot of inner monologue with the android, which I don't know if we mentioned this last time, but whenever I've watched or read different stories about artificial intelligence and androids, I never really feel like we get a lot of the android's POV. You know, we don't really get its perspective. We get the humans and they're kind of scared about it. And you get like an outer perspective just watching things happen. But seeing how the android is interpreting things that happen around him, seeing how he absorbs the information and what he does with it, right? That was something that I think is a bit unique for our story. I mean, maybe I'm just ignorant of some other movie or show that's done that. But to me, I thought it was really interesting to play around with that as well and make it to where, you know, as the story progresses, you sort of understand where he's coming from, but it doesn't make what he's doing necessarily any better, if that makes sense. So you go like, oh, you interpreted that way. I guess I could see that. Still wrong, but I could see that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I do like that perspective too. And it'll be interesting as technology gets better and better, how human-like they become too, right? To be able to understand to a certain degree emotion, and can they, even though it might not be a genuine emotion because there's no soul, they can still react in an emotional way when something triggers in that other person to kind of dictate to them that this should be a sad moment or should be a happy moment. Like all of that they're working on right now. And by the time 2065 comes around, I think people are going to have relationships with robots, even though there's no soul in a robot. I feel like, I mean, we get into some of the weird, nasty, perverted stuff that's going on, but it's already taking place in sub-segments, right? But it's going to be weird, man. And again, for those people, they're going to grow into it. So I think it'll be less weird for them. But if you drop that in one of our houses now, that would be weird.
You mentioned that little side note for this, actually kind of a funny little thing. My older brother, he's a novelist, and he wrote a book a couple years ago called Fighting Odds. And near the end of the book, I don't want to spoil too much, but the main antagonist, he actually has this AI projection of like an anime type girl who he basically has a relationship with. And he wrote that back in like, I want to say like 2019. And then what was it, like a couple weeks ago, he saw a news article about something exactly like that, where it's a projection of like any type of like anime style girl that you want, basically for whatever purposes you want. And he read that. He's like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, how prophetic is that?
Like 7 years later, it's a reality, man. That's so weird. That's so
man.
weird. Yeah, everyone watching, thanks for hanging out with us. The Kickstarter link is right here. It's also in the show notes. So get over there. We got 9 days left. Great thing is you hit the goal, but this title is pretty awesome. You should be able to surpass the goal by a lot more than a couple $100. So love to see you get up into those 4 or 5s. That would be amazing, because it's a pretty cool, well drawn. And then obviously, if you didn't hear, the great Dan Kemp is on colors on this. And if you know anything about Dan, if you're a Spawn fan, the guy's a legend when it comes to coloring. And this is pretty awesome, man.
And we also have some really fun extra awards as the Kickstarter gets more and more funded. I actually nailed down, I actually sent some photos of this, but we have these cool coins that we're going to be printing out, 3D printing for backers of the Kickstarter, which will feature a design from the company in the book called Rivon Tech. So that logo of the coin will be, you know, in the package for people of every backer. Basically, every tier will get one of those coins. And also, as we continue to get more and more funding, we'll include more like prints of the cover arts and stuff like that. So again, as backing gets higher and higher, more and more extra little goodies will be snuck in here and there for people. So more incentive in case people needed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you look over here on the right, when you everyone go over to that link and just check it out. It doesn't cost you anything to look at it. But you obviously have the cover A right here. We have a cover B right here. And this is from UDJ and then Alonso Espinosa on colors, which is pretty cool.
Oh, he killed it on that. I mean,
yeah.
What's cool is that if there's any anime fans out there's an anime called Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and there's a poster where it's actually a robotic arm like reaching for what's called a Philosopher's Stone. And so I was very much inspired by that and wanted to kind of have sort of that imagery a little bit. So for any anime fans, that's a cool little Easter egg for you.
That's awesome, man. Then you have cover C right here with Sean Arendt, you, and then Dan and Dave, which is crazy. Crazy.
This was fun, actually, because, well, obviously it was fun, but fun story, I should say. So midway into the campaign, Dan, what's really cool is that he's been really invested in this and really trying to help me figure out ways to get more and more funding and, all this stuff. And so he approached me with Sean Arendt, who I hadn't met before. Really great guy. But Dan was like, hey, let's do an extra cover and let's get Sean involved and, utilize his talents. And basically he told Sean, like, do some, rough pencils on it. And then DJ, do your job. Just go and Todd McFarlane it up. It's like, all right, say no more. And what's really cool is that both Dan and Dave teamed up on this cover to color it for us, which Dan said was only the 7th cover that they've worked on together, which is really, really cool. And Dan Kemp is, of course, a huge Iron Maiden fan. And so obviously we went that direction with the homage to No Prayers for the Living, I think is what the album is called.
Is it The Living? I thought it was The Wicked. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And what's kind of fun, like, moment for me is that I got to work on like the lettering and stuff. I changed the tagline to No Prayer for the Artificial, which I did that. I was like, I kind of chuckled to myself. I was like, oh, people might not care as much about that, but I think that's brilliant.
Well, Dan and Dave will get it probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you got a couple different tiers too. If you want a couple of the different covers, you got the black and white, which is always fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And then if you want it all, man, here we go, A, B, and C, which is very cool. Save some money when you get all.
Yeah, and with each tier, you also get like a digital copy as well, so that if people like they just want to collect them and then just read it on their iPad or computer or whatnot, they have that option too.
That's awesome, man. And then if you want it all with all the covers that we showed, there's a tier for that as well, which is really cool. The sketch cover, I'm assuming after they purchase this one, they could reach out to you and maybe work out some kind of a deal to do a sketch on it, which would be really awesome.
I have a client who already wants one of those with like a glitch Iron Man mashup type of thing on that. So that's gonna be fun to work on.
Heck yeah, that would be dope, man. And then here's the other one. This is the ultimate right here, where you're just getting the whole shebang, man.
And not pictured in that one is the cover C. It's just updating that one. They were really finicky about updating the pictures. So yeah.
All good, man. Yep. Very cool, man. And then we still have some of these left too, man. So this could be an awesome opportunity as well. Get a page, original page of the book, which is crazy.
And what's really cool about this is that I call this sort of a mixed media book, because I started working on this book doing the pencils traditionally, the first 9 pages. And when I got into it, I was like, I love traditional pencils, but I also want to get to the inking and get this done in a more efficient way. And so I switched to digital. So it makes these traditional pages that much more rare. So again, more incentive for people.
There you go, man. There you go. So yeah, great covers, a lot to choose from. And again, great team on this as well.
And another crazy thing about that cover C is that Dan and Dave finished coloring that the very same day that we got fully funded.
Oh, how cool is that?
Right? So it was like, oh, now that we're fully funded, let's reveal this cover we totally had ready to go before it being fully funded. We're revealing it to you. It's not as if it was a coincidence at all.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. That is. I might have to switch to this one, to be honest. I had cover A, but I might get this one.
Yeah, either way, I mean, they're great covers. I mean, I love the blue and yellows and sticking true to the color scheme of the original Iron Maiden cover.
Yeah.
It's turned out so
It's
good.
just knowing Dan and Dave played. I mean, not that that's the only one, but just that they played a role in that too is pretty cool, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. I know Dan did this one too, but to have the both of them on one would be pretty cool. Number 7, you
Yeah.
said, right?
Was that?
It was number 7, right?
7th one that worked on. Yeah, that's what Dan said anyway. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but you know.
Yeah. All kinds of cool stuff, man. The rewards right here. I put the link, like I said, in here so you guys can get over there and check it out for yourself. Please do so, man. And let's see if we can't help DJ get this thing across that 5,000. You're kind of done with the valley of death that happens on any Kickstarter. So you start to come out of that. So hopefully the last 9 or 8 days, you start to see some more movement, but that valley is stressful, man.
Oh, you're telling me, I mean, the weight that came off my shoulders when I realized we were fully funded, I cannot tell you. I mean, you probably know, at least to some extent, but no, the first 2 weeks of the campaign, late nights, just posting about it, you know, make videos about it, make sure people are aware of it, because I won't lie, I didn't quite do as much pre-launch promotion as I should have, right?
Yeah.
This is my first Kickstarter, learning a lot of lessons as I'm doing it. And so for the next Kickstarter, I'll be a lot more prepared. But so like the 2 weeks, I was like basically doing catch-up promotion, right? I was like, okay, let's reach out to these people. Let's figure this out, post about this, make sure people know about this thing. And as soon as I realized we were past the funding goal, I was like, oh, I kind of sink back a little bit and just feel like, okay, I can relax. I can smile about it. It's happening. And I can sleep.
Yeah. No, I have 3 issues of my own comic out, and they're all very stressful, man. They're just, will people like it? Are they going to understand it? And then you're like itching to get to that, you know, past that hump to see what happens in that last, like, really, it's like the last 4 to 5 days. And, you know, and also the time of the month. There's so many things that play into it, and there's a lot to choose from on Kickstarter. And, you know,
well, and also like the new year just recently starting, and then Valentine's Day, you know, everything, and then there was conventions in February, and so like looking back, it's like maybe not the best time of year to pick. Another lesson learned for sure, but again, you gotta learn them somehow.
I mean, everyone keeps saying, you know, this is the best time. This is the best time. The reality is, if you go on Kickstarter, there's hundreds of people selling comic books, and they're all through the holidays. Like, someone's being successful during that time frame. So again, I don't know, man. I know the holidays are really rough, but then I know someone who did extremely well during the holiday. So there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not sure how much science is behind all of that, but I do know that you got to promote a lot.
Yes,
promote a lot. Yeah, because there's a lot of noise. You got to get through that noise.
And honestly, like there were some times during those 2 weeks where I felt like I was just screaming into the void, you know, because social media algorithms are weird, man, you know, because I have some decent following on like, you know, Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. Yes, absolutely. So many different great projects too, great comics that are out there. And so a lot for people to possibly invest in. And so the fact that people have invested in mine is that much more appreciated. But it's just the social media algorithm. Suddenly when I was posting a lot about this one specific thing rather than just like sketch cover, you know, sketches and stuff like that, algorithm's like, hold on, what are you trying to do here? Like, why are you switching up? We're not going to show your stuff to anybody. We're not going to do that. We're just going to be petty. It's like, okay, well, crap. All right, let's talk to people.
No, I get it, man. I wish there was a science, and once you know how to do it, you're done. But I don't know.
It's like when you look into making a YouTube channel, there's those channels that are like, all right, these are the 10 things you need to do in order for your YouTube channel to be successful. And then you do that, and it's like, well, you know, the algorithm just doesn't like you. It's like, well, what the heck? It doesn't help me at all.
I did what you said, man. I did what you said. I promise. Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. But you got me as a backer, man. I think this sounds awesome. I'm a I don't know. Sci-fi is kind of I'm a big Green Lantern guy. So anything sci-fi, I'm in, man. So looks awesome, DJ. And I wish you nothing but the best, brother, because this is pretty cool, man.
Oh, and I appreciate it. And also just a huge shout out to you for like being such a big help and getting it promoted, and, you know, help me get connected with different people to help get it promoted as well. I mean, you know, huge credit to you in large part to help it get funded. So thank you.
We're all helping one another, man. Creators Outlet Will has a channel, which is really great. I don't know if you've done K-pop yet. She's awesome. Yeah, I'll send you some names, but, you know, it's up to you to reach out to them, but they both have great channels and they have great guests on as well. And there's a few of them out there. I'll send you some notes that you just reach out to them. They're very open. Again, with 9 days left, it depends on their scheduling and all that. But yeah, I mean,
well, that was the big thing too, with like, again, realizing that I hadn't done as much promotion as I should have, you know, and reached out to people like, hey, campaign ends in 3 weeks. You have an opening that time? No? Dang it, I understand.
Yeah, no, I think, again, like you said, lessons learned, but jumping in front of it early, even when you are just at the beginning stages and you give it some time to rest at the very beginning, where people could go and sign up and try and get to that like 100 number before you start to, like, there's all kinds of things that you could do. But again, my first one was a disaster. If it wasn't for family that's like, I'll get one. I was like, oh, great. I appreciate that. I know my dad has never read a comic book and ever I've seen him do it, but he bought one, man, just to support me. So, I mean, that's just the reality of it as an indie. And then when you get to issue 2 and 3, I think people want to see consistency. And once they feel like, okay, I'm going to invest and I'm actually going to get the story out of this, and not invest and never see issue 2, 3 again, I think that helps as well. So it's tough.
Well, that's a big reason why, like, you know, I've been jumping on getting issue 2 in production already. Like, I have the first, I think, up to 6 pages penciled for issue 2. And issue 2 and 3 are shorter than issue 1 is. Issue 1's 34 pages.
Yeah.
And the second and third are like 24 and 25 apiece. And so, because as someone who has backed Kickstarters in the past for comics, and I've had to wait a long time for those pledges to be, you know, acted upon or at all.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that if people are investing in it, they want to get the story decently quick. And I've also seen where, like, big companies like DC, for instance, you know, Doomsday Clock, there was a huge window between issues, and that can cause people to kind of be irritated, right? And so understanding that, it's like, let's get to work, make sure the story is, you know, being developed, and make sure to where people don't have to wait that long.
Yeah, agree. No, all those things I think are really important. So couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
But at least you're funded, man. You could take a sigh of relief. And now it's just about, you know, getting the word out and seeing how many more people you can attract to it to get them ready for that issue 2. And yeah, that'd be awesome. Are you thinking of maybe by the end of the year trying to get the Kickstarter going for issue 2, or what does that look like? Yeah.
My plan is to have all of my part for issue 2 done by the time these pledges are filled.
Okay.
And so people get the book. People get to see what it's all about. People get all the fun little trinket rewards that come with it. And then they'll see, hey, issue 2, the inks are done, the story's done, the lettering's done. Just do another Kickstarter. So I want to plan it to where pledges are filled, and within like maybe a month or 2, kick off the next Kickstarter. Because by then, multiple months have gone by since the Kickstarter had ended, and, you know, people have gotten their copies and things. Make sure to keep the momentum going. Right. That's the big thing, especially with comics. I mean, you can have an amazing book, but if you don't have momentum going with consistent releasing, that can lose people, you know, and that's the unfortunate reality. And so I definitely don't want Glitch to fall into that trap. And so, yeah, just working on it as much as I can. Got a lot of work to do, but issue 2, I expect to have all my part done by the time people get their hands on the copy of Glitch.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Well, I'm here for you, man. I'll try and share it over the next 9 days. Just send me a note. Hey, can you share it one more time or whatever? But we're going to try and help you get to that next level, man. That way it's successful and you have the funds you need to, one, print and ship, and then also maybe help out with the next issue. That's what it's all about, getting ahead of it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Making each, what's it called? What I'm looking for. Each, after every other issue, like easier and easier to get out there, less expensive, whatever the word. I'll think of the word in about an hour or so when it's not important anymore. You know, subsequent. That's the word. Each subsequent issue. Yes,
gotcha.
There we go. I do know words. I do know some words.
I hope so. You're the writer, man.
Yes, that's a good thing. I you know, collaborated with people who are writers and helped me out with it and everything. So no need to worry about that gaff, people. Don't.
Yeah, exactly. No, it looks awesome, man. Congratulations, DJ, and I'm glad you funded, man. And I'm glad I'm going to be able to get this in my hands. So I'm all in for it, brother.
Absolutely, and I hope that people will be able to get their copies by, at the very latest, late April. And so make it to where it's a nice quick turnaround. Get Dan to finish the colors for the book, and actually just got a new backer, Chris.
Nice.
Much appreciated.
Man, yeah, he's awesome, bro.
Thank you so much. And again, just all the support has just been really incredible. Because, I mean, I'm sure you've talked to a lot of artists who talk about, every now and then, self-doubt creeps in, even to the best of people. Even the best of creators, you're just like, you hate what you're drawing or you hate what you're writing, and so to see the support has really been humbling and amazing, and also been very motivating, because people who know me will tell you that I kind of work too much. I work a lot on what I do. And so to see that work be rewarded by support has just been really incredible. So to all those out there, thank you so much. And you will not be disappointed.
I love it, man. All right, DJ. Well, I appreciate you, man. Pass this out some more over the next 9 days. But everybody, the link is in the show notes. So if you're not watching live, you're going to watch later, just go to the notes. You'll see it there. It's also here in the chat. So just click the link or copy paste it to your Google, and let's go over there and check it out, man. It's pretty dope, and I think you're gonna really love it. The art's amazing, and DJ's a good dude, man. DJ's a good dude. Yeah, we saw that, man. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. Every little bit helps, and the support is very much appreciated. Thank you.
100%, man. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. All right, DJ, I appreciate you, my friend. We'll stay in touch, man. If you need anything, let me know. But have a blessed weekend, my friend.
Absolutely. And good luck with all the interviews coming up. You got some cool stuff happening, man. I'm so excited.
It's a lot of good stuff. I mean, I'm pretty busy, man. I got to warn my wife, man, because I work all day. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got an interview. Are you serious? So I got to pre-warn her. That way she's not mad when it happens. But, yeah, we got some great folks coming up over, like, if you're an art fan, Todd Beats is coming on Monday.
I saw that one.
Yeah, so if you like art, you're gonna love this one. I got a bunch of folks coming up. I don't want to use your time to talk about it, but we got a lot of great folks. It's not out yet, but we're working on Philip Kennedy Johnson and Nick Klein, so more to come on that. We're just waiting for Nick to confirm everything. But yeah, I got Thomas Healy, who's the editor-in-chief for Spawn, coming back. I have him on a lot, but he's coming back on.
Great guy. Great guy.
Oh, great guy, man. Ed Brisson. Who else I got? Mittal, who also writes for Hyde Street for Ghost Machine. We got, I don't know, did you see this title by Adam Lawson? It's called Mad Dog Morgan.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Dude, the art looks insane, man. So that one's coming up. Who else I got? So there's an actor who's been in Jurassic Park. If you like the Black Mirror, that show, he's been in a bunch of different stuff, but his name is Aussie Akil, and he has his own comic coming, We Who Remain. So he'll be on, I think, next week on Thursday, but he's been in a bunch of shows. So check him out, man. It's probably a TV show or a movie that you've seen where he's been in. So another great guy, and he'll be coming on. But yeah. Oh, and then I have Aaron Sparrow and Dolan Waddick. They're going to be at MegaCon. And if you don't know who Aaron Sparrow is, but he used to he was the writer for Darkwing Duck for a long time. So he has like this crazy fan base of people who read Darkwing Duck like 10 years ago that still love him. But now he's an editor-in-chief, and he does a lot of editing for a lot of big names. And then Dolan Waddick is a writer who's been writing for a bunch of different publishers. But yeah, I'm trying to see who else, man. Christopher Priest is coming back on the first week of April. Who else do I got? Man, there's a lot, man. So just, if you're following me, bro, you're going to see it all over my Instagram. And what I would say is, if you want to know before anybody else who I'm interviewing, I do have, I don't know what they call it on Instagram, but you could kind of create your own.
Like the group, basically.
Yeah, the group. So I have my own, Comic Talk with Tommy. I have my own group, and you could see in there all the names that are coming on as well. But yeah, I'm super excited, man. I just had Chuck Dixon on, if you're a big Batman and Nightwing fan. But yeah, there's a bunch, man. Tony Flew on pretty soon. So a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good creators like DJ here that we're having on, and it'll be fun, man. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. That's incredible, man. Congratulations. That's really exciting. I met Thomas Healy 2 years ago now at SpawnCon, a very small event they had in Denver. Talked to him for a little bit, and that was really cool. Because I had never met him in person, never seen him before, so I didn't know who he was at first. And then I was talking to people, I was like, oh, shoot, okay, I'm gonna talk to him a little bit and see how he's doing. But no, that's awesome. I'm excited for you, man. You doing some great stuff. You do great work, and obviously people love being on your show. So
I appreciate it, man. You know, I try to stay super positive. I don't do reviews because that's just not my thing. I just like getting to know people, man, and then letting fans get to know who those people are, and then they could choose whether it's the right title for them or not. So I kind of stay out of that other realm. A lot of other people do it much better, and you know, I don't want to anger people or hurt people's feeling, man. As you know, creating a comic book is not easy. So again, I don't read everything because I don't. It's not for me.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, but there's a lot of stuff that might be popular and it's just not for me. So I never say it's terrible. I just say, look, that one's just not for me. I tried and it didn't hit me the way that I like to be hit when it comes to comic books. Doesn't mean that's a bad writer or a terrible comic. It might be good for you. It just didn't do it for me. So I just stay kind of positive, and that way people don't get scared off by me when I want to interview them, you know?
Yeah, everybody's least favorite thing is someone else's favorite thing of all time. So it's
absolutely. And I'm older, right, than most people, and so what's not for me, if I talk crap about it, it could have been for someone else, but then they listen to me and like, oh, that guy said it was terrible. Like, don't do what I do. I mean, it just wasn't for me, but it might be for you. So I just stay out of that realm, man.
Oh yeah, it's a healthy place to be. I'll say that. And when you have Philip Kennedy Johnson on, you should ask him if there's any updates on the Felspire Chronicles of the Last God, because I want more of that world. I want more of it, and I'm tired of waiting.
Well, you'll know when the date is locked in. It'll probably be on a weekend, just because Nick Klein lives in Europe, and then obviously Philip Kennedy Johnson's on the East Coast. So, you know, we're trying to figure out the timing so that it's not 2 a.m. for Nick Klein. So we might have to do it on a Saturday because we all kind of work during the week. So we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
More to come. All right, DJ, man, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man, and have a great night.
You too.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.